Hi, and welcome to Woman at the Wheel, my YouTube channel. I'm Sue, and I'm here doing something completely different today. And first I want to say I'm sorry to my brother because this is another video of my big face. He told me to quit doing those and start doing all scenery videos. So, sorry, but I kind of need to have the camera pointed this way to do this one. So what I'm doing today is a completely new deal for me, which is reviewing a product. And this is a product that's intimately connected to the kind of business I do. It's an electronic logging device that I'm required by federal law to have installed in my vehicle while I'm running as a commercial vehicle in the United States. Canada has a similar rule, I do believe. So what this is back in the day, about, it's been probably 10 years ago or so now, the federal government, in all their infinite wisdom, decided that they didn't believe anything we were telling them as truckers on paper logs, and that we were all lying to them, so that we needed to have these little deals in our trucks telling them everything we did, everywhere we went, where we stopped, while we moved, keeping track of our mileage, all of that, because they didn't believe us. So they came up with this, and I resisted it to the point where that was one of the factors in my retirement in 2013, 2014, because at the time they were extremely expensive and they were complex, and I felt at the time that it was probably another deal that was just gonna be too costly to even try to comply with at that point. So I thought, well, you know, I'm about ready to retire anyway. I'm just going to go ahead and retire. So I did. I retired, and that was part of the reason I retired. At that time, it was several thousands of dollars to get one of these installed in your truck, and I wasn't making enough money to make it worthwhile. The oil field had just pretty much bottomed out, and all my customers closed up their doors and went out of business. So at that point I just decided I'm just going to retire, and guess what? Well, when I came back, all of a sudden I realized I need an ELD on my truck, so an electronic logging device. We're required by law to have them, and you can't go unplugging them when you're out on the road or anything, trying to hide where you are or what you're doing. It's federal offense. So you need something that you can plug in and leave plugged in, something that's going to work for you, that you can learn to work with. I'm going to take a drink of coffee, I'm sorry. Chocolate coconut coffee. Anyway, some kind of a Keurig thing. So I thought I'd just go ahead and review this, and I'm not going to tell you everything that this whole deal does, because I only use part of it. And the part of it that I use is the whole reason I bought the thing in the first place. This is the only electronic logging device I could find, scouring the internet, looking for one when I came back to work in like November, December. It's the only one I could find that did two things. It plugs into my pickup port, which has to match this port. A semi port is round. This one is, you know, this rhombus kind of shape. So it will plug into my truck. So for a Dodge, for a Ford, any kind of a pickup light truck application, this is the one you're probably going to want. So it did that. And the other thing about it is I only paid for it one time. I paid a set price, which was $295. They sent me the thing, and that's it. I don't pay a monthly fee. Of course, I also don't get all the extra stuff that you can get from this if you want to pay an extra fee. So it has more functionality that you can pay for. I'm just too damn cheap to pay for it, to be really blunt and honest. So this is what it looks like. It's just a little gadget that plugs into your diagnostic port. Mine happens to be right under my dash, right down beside my hood latch. It's got kind of like this little thing. What do they call it? Like a little thumb drive thing sticking in it. And it plugs in this way, this on the right side, up under my dash. This is the entire manual for said ELD. That's it. So it's very simple. It's really super easy to work with. I did have a couple of issues when I first started using it, and so I got a hold of their tech support people, and they were very responsive. They're just really super helpful, and they can actually access this remotely when it's plugged in. They can look at it and tell what's going on with it, and they can do certain things to it to kind of fix any problems you might be having. So I've had 2 issues with it, and they did both of them remotely like that, and it didn't take any time at all. So it was great. I'm going to plug this back in. If I can get it in there straight. There it goes. All right. So got to have it plugged in. So then to use this, you have to interface by Bluetooth with your phone or a tablet or a laptop. I've got it interfaced with all 3. The phone and the tablet are by Bluetooth, and then that syncs everything up onto their site to the portal on the internet in the cloud, where I can access it with my laptop. Now I can do more stuff with my laptop. I can look at more records than I can on my tablet or my phone. I don't know why that is, but it just is. One of the things that I can't do from my phone or my tablet is go in and certify my days off. For some reason, I don't know why. So I actually use my laptop in the house for that. I just go on the internet to the portal, log into my account, and then I can go in and certify my days off. On here, I can try to do it, but it won't give me the button to actually push to certify it. Don't know why that is. It's not a big deal. I mean, usually if I'm on my days off, I'm home, so I can go in and certify them. You know, all you're doing when you certify your days off is saying that everything I put in here is true. You know, and then you submit it, and then it's certified. It's just like signing it on a paper log. You know, so. When you first open this up, it'll give you a screen, it'll give you options where to go, and one of those is the home screen. And this is what the home screen looks like. And the red section up at the top here is unresolved issues. So what I've got there as far as an unresolved issue right now is uncertified logs. I haven't certified my days off logs yet, but I'll do that in the house. The other thing that'll show up here is see, uncertified logs. The electronic logging device, if it's not getting certain bits of information, that'll show up there, and that's something you can look at and see what it's not getting, and then you can call tech support if it's consistently not getting it. Sometimes it'll show ECU data not collected or whatever, and then once it's been running for a little while, it'll plug in, and then it'll read it, so that warning will go away. And then there's another DVIR not completed for the day. So then it'll give you a prompt to do those things so you don't forget. The next part of it is your current loadout, and this is just your basic information. I've got my name, my company, and my vehicle number in there, but I don't have trailers or shipping document numbers or anything like that in there. I haul so many different things that by the time I enter it in here, I usually just don't even remember. So I've got paper documentation to back that up. If it's something I need when I get inspected, I've always got hard copies with me. So hope I don't get in trouble for that, but that's the way I do it, because I just don't remember to put that in. That's one criticism I would have about the layout on this, that there's no place on your hours of service page to enter your load number or your BOL number. So other than that, this is your hours of service page, and it looks just like a regular old-fashioned logbook. And then over here there's a plus sign. You hit that and it will let you do different functions. The function I use here is usually add duty status. Oh, there's a certified log thing there. Maybe I can do that for my for my days off. I guess I could. I think I just cured that problem. So you got these are your choices. Add duty status. So let's say I stop someplace and I log off duty, say I log off duty. Well, that's what I do. I add duty status, and I put in my notes if it's off duty or if it's a break or whatever, and save it. You have to save everything. You can certify logs. Forget all that I said about not being able to certify logs. Evidently that's where you can. Date selects, and it'll give you a way to pick the date you want to work on. And then it also has two other things in here for you if you're like out on the road and you need them: adverse conditions and emergency conditions. So if let's say you're stuck in traffic, you had no warning, there's been a crash up ahead of you, and you've sat in traffic for 3 hours and you have 3 hours left on your day. So you're stranded out here, and you're an hour from someplace where you could actually get to safety, or 30 minutes or whatever. Then you can use that emergency conditions, and it will add 2 hours, or the adverse conditions will add 2 hours to your log to give you time to get to someplace safe. Something you'll very rarely ever use, but if you need it, it's there. So it's kind of built in, so that's kind of cool. You don't have to go hunting for it. And then, of course, the available hours is this is the page, if I can get this right. This is a page that stays open all the time. I set this to just stay open, to never close. And so I've got it in my little stand here that I just did something to. But I've got my little stand here that I can see all day. So I can tell at a glance what my hours are. And it'll tell me everything: my break, how long is it till my next break, that I have to have one every 8 hours, a 30-minute break, how much of my 11-hour drive time is left, how much of my 14-hour daytime window is left, and how many hours are left on my week. So as you know, we start our week with 70 hours. Some start with 80. I'm on the 70-hour cycle. So that's important for me to know, because when I'm looking at my plan for the week, my broker will call me and say, well, I've got this job, and this job. Can we string them together, and can you do them? That's the number I need right there. How many hours do I have on the week? And keep in mind, though, that's not just drive hours. That's all of your working hours for the week. So if you've got like 3 runs, it's going to take you 60 hours just drive time to complete those runs. That leaves you 10 hours for all your incidentals, like fueling, whatever you've got to do with the loads, on duty, not driving type of stuff. So that's all of that. So you got to figure that all in. But that's a really important number right there. It's as important as this number right here, the 11-hour number. That's what you start with every day as far as your drive time. So it'll count down your drive time. It'll count down your window, which includes your on-duty, not driving time. And these kind of run concurrently. Now, sometimes you can get tied up doing so much on-duty, not driving work that it'll start eating up your drive time. You've got 14 hours of a window, but you've got 11 hours to drive. If your window is used up down below 11 hours, that starts eating your drive time. So you've got to keep track of that too. Well, this does that. If your 14-hour window is diminished beyond the amount of drive time you have, the drive time is shrunk down to accommodate, so you won't go over time, so you won't get yourself in trouble. And of course, count down to your 8-hour break. So you have to have one break of 30 minutes every 8 hours of drive time. So it'll remind you. And then when you get down to 1 hour of drive time left, this will start flashing red, so hey, you only have like 59 minutes left to drive. You better start thinking about finding a spot. So it's very helpful that way. It also has a roadside inspection page that you can go to. And this is what you do if you get inspected at the roadside. You go to this, and it will let the DOT officer look at 8 of your most recent 8 days of logs, which is what you're required to provide to them. And you can just click through it up here with the date, and then it will print it. There's a green wheel over here in the side, and it will bring up these options, so you can send it to the .web server, and you can email the records right from this page. And this is something you're required by the law to have available to you as part of your ELD service. So this is all the stuff that you can do with this that doesn't cost you anything extra. Once you've paid your $295 or whatever the going rate is on this, then that's it. You don't have to pay any extra. Now you can pay extra, and then it will allow you to do other things. Like you can attach air sensors to this program, I guess, that you install on your vehicle, and it'll give you your weight. You can do a lot of other things too, but you pay extra for all that. I don't do that because I don't need it. I keep it as trimmed down as I can as far as costs. So this is a real important deal to me. I don't have to pay anything extra. It does everything that's required by law that an ELD is supposed to do without any extra expense every month. So, and I think, let's see, daily vehicle inspections. It has a page for that, and it will give you a prompt every day. Have you done your DVIR yet? And then you can go in and say, yeah, I want to do it now, or no, I want to wait. And then it will remind you again to get that done every day. And then if you have documents that you want to add to it, now I think you have to pay extra for this option. But if you've got like bills of lading or whatever documents, you can upload them. You can also upload fuel receipts. I don't do any of that because I've got my own system that I've been using forever. I have a trip envelope that I use. This is my trip envelope. So on my trip envelope, I'll show my bill of lading, my trip rate, the shipper, pick up and deliver, and then all the mileage is on here for each state, and then my fuel purchases, other expenses, and any notes. So I keep all that in here anyway. But if you don't have a system like this and you're more of a like high-tech person and you want to upload your receipts and stuff, you can do that. You just pay extra to do it. Then you would have a monthly extra fee on it. No, I don't even know how much that is. I haven't even looked, since it doesn't apply to me. And that's just how easy it is. So just a quick recap. And I was completely ELD ignorant when I started this. Never messed with one. Like I say, my main criteria was not to have to pay a monthly fee. This is perfect for this scenario. I have a small company. I've only got one driver. You can use this with multiple drivers. If you if you're a dispatch or something and you dole these out to people who are leased onto you or whatever. So it's not something that just allows for one driver. You can have however many drivers you want. So, but each of them gets an independent ELD, and then it keeps their records separate. So you can go through and look at all of your driver's records on the internet part of it. So that's the other part. Once I get done here, I can go in the house and pull up the portal on the internet, and then I can see more information, and it will tell me if I've got potential violations for certain days, and it will highlight that for me so I can go in and look at it and say, oh, well, that's not what that was supposed to be, or whatever, and I can fix it, or I can go, oh crap, maybe I just had a violation. So it'll warn me about that stuff. It'll do the same thing if you're like managing several people's logs. Like I remember working for a company for a while, and one of the things they did is they had one lady employed to do nothing but go through and inspect everybody's logs, make sure that everything was okay, that they crossed all their T's and dotted their I's, and if there was something that looked fishy, then she'd put a sticky note on it and say, what is this? So that's kind of the deal with that. But you can do that all just from the laptop, and all these sync every device. I mean, I can access it here, I can access it here, and I can access it on my laptop, and all these devices are synced so that they all give you the same information, and it syncs periodically as you're going throughout the day. So what I see on my actual portal here in the truck, which would be my tablet, is the same thing I'm going to see on my laptop when I log in to the web portal to see that. So it's really handy that way. So if you're managing more than one driver, you have access to all of this in one spot. So I guess that's pretty much, I think that's about everything I can tell you about it. I do want to say I'm impressed with it. I'm happy with it. I can't compare it to anything else. This is the only ELD I've ever used, but it's so good, and I've come to rely on it so much that I went from hating the concept of the ELD to actually liking this one so well that if I didn't have to use it, I probably still would use it, because it does so much of my work for me, like keeping track of my hours. It tells me how many hours I've got left on the week. It calculates my resets. It calculates everything. I mean, it's all built into it, and I know it's correct because the laws are built into it. So it's not like me trying to do some math and forgetting something or misadding something. It takes that level of human error out of the equation. So for that, I really appreciate it. So I hope that gives you some useful information about it. Again, it's the BIT Blue Ink Technology ELD, and I'll link it up. I'll link their website underneath so that you can find them easily. I hope this is useful to you. If you're liking what you see in the videos here, please subscribe. I'm always happy to have a new subscriber. I'm just getting started, and I'm just tickled when anybody actually does subscribe. So if you want to do that, do. And thank you for watching, and I guess I'll see you on the next trip, which should be tomorrow or the next day. So we'll be uploading some more trip videos. So my brother doesn't have to remind me to do more scenery and not so much of my big face. So I will talk to y'all later. Thank you, and bye.